say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory, 377,000. Texas, as we said. Ohio, think of this. Ohio, a tremendous state, a big state. I love Ohio. We won by 8.1%, 461. Think of it. Almost 500,000 votes. North Carolina, big victory with North Carolina. And so we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. We did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this, and we, as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you, and I want to thank all of our support. I want to thank all of the people that worked with us, and Mr. Vice President, say a few words, please. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join you in thanking more than 60 million Americans who have already cast their vote for 4 more years for President Donald Trump in the White House. And while the votes continue to be counted, we're going to remain vigilant, as the President said. The right to vote has been at the center of our democracy since the founding of this nation, and we're going to protect the integrity of the vote. But I really believe with all of my heart, with the extraordinary margins, Mr. President, that you've inspired in the states that you just described, and the way that you launched this movement across the country to make America great again, I truly do believe, as you do, that we are on the road to victory and we will make America great again. Thank you, Mr. President.
So there we have President Trump coming out and speaking to supporters in the room, speaking to the American public, speaking to the world, and saying, frankly, we did win this election. That is not true. The president has not been declared the winner of this election, but he says that a great fraud has been committed on the American public, and now that he will go to the United States Supreme Court. What we were speaking about earlier, what Ron Christie, a former advisor to George W. Bush, was laying out as a fear of his, Andrew, seems to be what we have heard from the president, that he is claiming victory while legitimate votes are still being counted. The president says he is the winner of the election. He ran through a list of states that he says he has won that have not yet been called. The fact that he says he is the winner of the election does not make him the winner of the election. There are votes still being counted in the country.
It was the most remarkable statement by an incumbent president on an election night in America's history. Normally, in fact, always, presidents don't claim victory until the results are in. And if they've lost, they concede. Quite often, they concede even when all the results are not in, but it's clear that they have lost. It is not clear that President Trump has lost, but it's not clear that President Trump has won either. And yet he says they've definitely won in Georgia and in North Carolina. Arizona is still in contention. They're going to win Pennsylvania. And it was interesting that he said, we did win. This is a fraud on the American people. People are trying to disenfranchise us as the counting is still going on and remains incomplete. And then he added the crucial words, he wanted the voting to stop. And by that, what he means is he wants the mail-ins and the earlier votes to stop being counted, and essentially for the election to be judged on those who voted on the day, because he believes that is much more Republican than Democrat. So, and he said they were ready for a big celebration, Katty, and we had Hail to the Chief as he came in.
Which is the music that always welcomes the president when he comes into the room.
Yeah, but this was like a victory. This was victory music. This was to set the signal that this was victory. This was a victory celebration. That's what he was trying to get across.
They were absolutely, the whole thing was designed to say we were planning a victory, it was stolen from us, we were ready to go, and we will take it to the Supreme Court. That Supreme Court, which is now 6 conservative justices and 3 Democratic-leaning justices. And if it ends up there, which is where Donald Trump signaled tonight, he told us tonight that this is where he wants this to end up. He can't take it, of course, directly to the Supreme Court. It would have to go through other routes. We'd have to have the voting. The votes are still being counted in Wisconsin, Michigan and Pennsylvania. In Georgia, we spoke to a reporter just now in Georgia. The vote counters have yet to come back to count several hundreds of thousands of votes that are still needing to be counted. These are not ballots, to be clear, that were cast after the polls were shut. They are ballots that have been mailed in, which is a legitimate form of voting. They are ballots that were cast early before the election. And now it's going to be very interesting to see how the Democrats respond to this, the president coming out so defiantly saying, frankly, we did win this election. But the onus is on everybody who is reporting on this to make it clear that the president has not yet won this election. He may do so, but Donald Trump has not yet won this election. Joe Biden has not yet won this election. Neither of them can declare that. Neither of them can claim that because the votes are still being counted.
But one has declared it.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.